myself. I'm gonna give it my all. She worth my time.
Right.
And I just feel like it's going to cause me a lot of strife, and for me to be stressed out about a job that's not paying me, and then have to go to another job because I'm stressed out about the job that's not paying me enough money.
It's not a good day.
I don't know.
This will not be a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Decisions. Confessions of an adult.
Right.
Yeah,
that's real life adult problems.
Yeah.
Because I remember life used to be sweet before you had to pay for other people to eat.
I'm not in the exact same boat, but as these breaks that I have with my main job always come, there's always a part in my seasonal break, where I'm like, am I really about to go back there? Like, am I really about to do that? Because I can do so much better. I mean, the money's good and everything, but it takes up. Yeah.
Not because I'm questioning, because I had no idea
what
the money was like.
And if you're a salesman, which I'm not, it's even more beneficial for you financially. But I've been blessed to have the boss that I have, so he's been able to slide me in a couple raises since I've been there.
Okay.
But I mean, but it takes up too much of my time during the day, and there's so much other stuff that I want to get accomplished that I'm able to get accomplished when I'm off. But then I have to start slowing down once I get ready to do this full-time thing again. And by the time I get home, the day is gone. Everybody that I want to talk to is winding down. It's just not a good look. And I don't get to go to places because I'm extremely tired. I got to get up at 5 a.m, 5 days a week. So I'm like, I got to find something else. So, but from our conversation last week with Dr. Marcella, she hit me up to hit my resume. So I'm going to do that and with my fingers crossed and see what happens here in the near future.
Word.
So that's where we're at. Also, I want to go ahead and introduce now you know her as our photographer here on Breaking Ground, but we got her sitting down with a mic in front of her face for good reason. So everybody say what's up to Whitney Chanel. What's happening? I'm gonna need you to talk to the mic like you look like you're scared of it. Don't be scared of the D. Put it up to. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. There you go. There you go.
I can hear myself now.
Can you?
Yeah.
What's up?
Hi.
How are you?
How are you guys?
Great.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. Getting off work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody getting off work and
Tired.
That's terrible. How's the winter been?
So it's been cool, but I don't have a headlight and I don't have a windshield wiper, so life is rough out here.
That sounds dangerous.
That does sound dangerous.
You don't got no windshield wipers? It's like
I have the what is it? The driver's windshield wiper. That's all I need.
So you have one windshield.
Just the driver's. I don't sit in my passenger seat.
Is it broken or you just need a new blade?
I need a new blade.
I mean, I'm certain that's $8.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
It's one of the cheapest things you can get for your vehicle.
And the guy at AutoZone will literally clip it in for you. Like, you don't have to do anything but pull up and say, "Oh my God, I know I need a new wiper." They will look up the size.
I know.
They will.
I'm just lazy.
Okay. Well, as long as we've established that it's not an actual need, it's a laziness factor. Oh, speaking of laziness, how long do we have before we go to a quick break?
Go ahead. I hope I put the boom, but I can't remember. Go ahead.
Okay. So I listened to the Faison Love. And we definitely got to talk about this.
I do want to
talk about Faison Love, Dave Chappelle. I listened to it actually on the way here, like in its entirety or the majority of it. It was about a 47-minute interview or whatever. And he starts going in on people from the jump. And what I thought was interesting, though, is when they asked about, is that like,
that was a little boom, a little 30-second boom.
Okay, cool. When they, I'm all like,
I can't remember if I put it on or not.
And then when they asked about it, when they asked him about the whole Monique thing and whether or not they felt like she was being ridiculous or she should be getting the same amount of money. He was like, I feel like equal money is bullshit. He was like, people get paid what they get paid based on what their worth is to whoever's paying them the money. And he basically was like, a lot of people out here are lazy. Now, he didn't specifically say Monique is lazy, but he said a lot of people are lazy when it comes to being on all the social medias and talking regularly and keeping up with people in the times and being relevant. And that is what causes other people to not view. He said, fuck Netflix. I'm about to make my own special. She should do her own thing. Like, and then you can shop it around and make more money.
Is Faison
like,
talking, or this is
no, this is Faison. That's what he said. He said I'm about to make my own, and she should make her own. Like, there shouldn't, like, it shouldn't be. He basically said the only reason that Dave got the money that he got from them is because Netflix has been loving him forever. Like, they've been riding with him for years, and he said they used to call him
white people.
White people, yes. He said white people built Dave Chappelle's career, not black people. That black people have never found him funny. So I thought that was ridiculous because obviously we've been laughing at Dave Chappelle for years, and back since the one I remember was Killing Me Softly was the first one. I was like, that nigga's hilarious, like. But and that was a long time ago. Nigga. But he said that shit wasn't funny. He was like, name a skit off of that. Name something off of that. Now I personally can name it because I've seen so many. But Charlamagne was like, man, my memory's not good. And so then he used the example of Eddie Murphy Raw. He was like, Eddie Murphy Raw, name a skit off that. And he was naming off. He was like, exactly, classic versus not a classic. That nigga's not funny. He was like, Dave Chappelle. He was like, what about the Chappelle Show? And he was like, the Chappelle Show didn't get funny until Charlie Murphy started writing for it in the second season. The second season was funny as shit. He's like, that first season, trash. And I don't agree, I
disagree.
Yeah. I'm on the fence.
And he said that, you know, that the fact that he disappeared and talked about, you know, white people this, and, you know, like he said, that's some old scary nigga shit. Like, that nigga's acting scared. He's like, you scared of him? Like, these are your main people. Like, and that it didn't have anything to do with where he was from. It had everything to do with the fact that he made it sound like that Dave caters to them, which I don't necessarily think is true at all. I think he tries to build a bridge with them so that they feel comfortable laughing, and then he can sneak in some black shit that they don't know about. Like, I find him extremely clever, and he's not the hee-haw kind of type like Kevin Hart. And I also found it funny that most comedians are not Kevin Hart fans, and he was like, oh, Kevin's my book. It was kind of weird. He kind of said something. Kevin's my baby. That's what he said. Did he say that? Swear to God. Did he say that? And it was weird. Did you have a weird moment? There was a weird moment when he said, Kevin's my baby. He was like, I love him. That's my dude. But he didn't once mention whether or not he thought Kevin was funny, or the fact that Kevin does not write his own jokes by himself. Which I don't give a shit about. As long as it's funny and you do it right, and I laugh, I feel like money well earned. Check. Like, I appreciate you. But I just thought that was really interesting because most people hate on Kevin Hart because they find him not funny. But he made it sound like Dave Chappelle, like, has just been I don't know.
I'll say this and then we'll go on break. I think the last I'm sounding like Charlamagne. I can't remember the show, but there was a stand-up that I did see from Dave Chappelle, one of his later ones, more recent ones, to piggyback what you said, that I thought was extremely clever. The way that he delivered it and what he talked about and how he talked about it. And he's right. He had the white people, every time they showed the crowd, he had the white people jumping, like cracking up. White people, Mexicans, everybody was having a blast. And I you know, I thought it was clever too. Now, if he feels like black people don't find him funny, then I really don't know what to say about that. But the fact that you can say that I've only been successful because white people found me funny, then goddamn it, I applaud you for that. Because
still successful.
Because when you really break it down, if you really want to break it down, you know how we are when it comes to support any fucking way. So you can make $50,000 or $50 million or no dollars. It's hard enough trying to get our own people to support. So if you're gonna get a whole bunch of white people to support you and make you successful, then
and
go right ahead.
And that's for the simple fact that we are, and Kevin even, not Kevin, Dave Chappelle even mentioned this in his last special, like, black people don't fuck with him because they can download all this shit at home, like, whereas white people will go to the show and pay $100 for the ticket, and they'll buy drinks, and they will, you know what I'm saying? Whereas black people will be like, oh, that ticket, and it's keeping it real. I love Kevin Hart. When I looked at his ticket
Oh
price.
my God! When he's coming here at the end of the year,
I knew that was gonna be a bitch's Christmas gift, her like
the
her
whole
birthday
year,
gift.
the
Like
whole
I
year.
wasn't finna get nothing else.
Like,
So do I want to go see
Bundles.
Kevin Hart that bad, or do I want to wait for the special to come out? If I wait 3 months, the special will come out. It'll be fine.
right,
I'll watch it for free on Netflix.
right.
Not because I don't
That's real.
support you, because I do, but it seems like
That's just
you're
what I can
taken care
afford.
of.
Right.
That's what I can afford. I
Right.
can afford. Well, I can't even afford
So,
Netflix.
guys-
My grandma, my mother.
Netflix,
my
Netflix.
mother is paying for Netflix, but
I've never seen an episode.
Of what?
Dave
Kevin?
Chappelle.
Oh, you haven't? The Dave Chappelle show?
Get out.
Man.
wait. Remember, they started
Funny
that
story.
show. I can't remember. I can't exactly. I can't remember
Sorry.
what station it's on, but there's a station where like they're starting some new show called The Black Card.
Yes.
Yours just got revoked.
Yes.
You can go- that is
Got him.
like
I know, like I know, like every like the little funny jokes and stuff.
No,
but, like,
but
I've never
you
seen
don't
a
know
full
it.
episode.
Yeah, you need to
Then-
watch.
then
You need
you
to
don't
watch
know
a
it.
couple. You need to watch like the whole thing.
Okay,
Just watch the whole thing.
I have to.
So
do
we'll be
that.
back when we come back. We got wins and losses with Tiffany, and we're gonna get into Whitney's business a little bit and let her talk about what she's got coming up. We got VA Visions in the building, of course. You know what I mean? He done brought us some produce that he stole, but it's all good.
Right, like,
You
should
know
I
what
be
I mean?
eating
We
this
gonna
live?
we gonna eat it just the
I
same.
don't know. Should I eat this live with someone watching me?
Y'all go over, man. We'll be right back.
What's going on?
That's
It's man
funny.
DJ Swamp Thing, host of Breaking Ground Radio with my homegirl Tiffany L. Hey, listen, if you ever missed an episode of Breaking Ground, no worries. Let me tell you what you do. You log on
Right.
to YouTube, type in Breaking Ground, and you're right there, a part of the family. I know it sounds like a lot, but once you get on, it'll all be worth it. All right, and remember, we're on every Thursday from 6 to 8 right here. WTMHradio.com, where local and mainstream collab. All right.
Bow. Get out here.
2, Colin Kaepernick got presented the Muhammad Ali Award for sportsmanship and all that shit. So that's in the second
And
win.
most of all,
Third
one that
is
will
that
not
I don't know if
break
y'all
the
saw
bank.
this video.
Well, bro,
Whitney
what's
Chanel
good?
Like
Visit
almost got
Columbus
his
Faces
ass
one-stop
I need
shop.
that win for you tomorrow.
From makeup artistry to graphic design, specializing in portrait, boudoir, and family photography. Whitney Chanel Photography guarantees not only to provide exceptional service, but an enjoyable photography experience. Follow and like Whitney Chanel Photography on Facebook or call now for a free consultation. 614-347-9448. 614-347-WHIT. Whitney Chanel Photography. Life is beautiful. Capture.
You know what it's time for? A sexy party.
No. It's time for wins and fails. Right here with Tiffany L.
Bam. We are back at it, man. DJ Swamp Thing, man. Breaking Ground Radio and mainstream and local collab. We got Wins and Fails with Tiffany L. What up?
What's up?
What's happening?
As always, I ask y'all, you want fails first or you want some wins?
I don't know. We'll let y'all decide. We all think.
How you feel?
Bad news first or wins?
Fails
Fails?
first.
All right. Make it happen.
All right. I believe, yes, yesterday was National Signing Day for
Oh, that was sad.
for the NFL. No, not the NFL, excuse me, for the what do you call it? The
NBA?
college.
The college. The signing day for college.
National Signing Day for college football. And there was a young man by the name of Jacob Copeland who was deciding between 3 different schools, Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. And he had his little caps up. We've all seen this whole how the showdown goes or whatever. Basically, he was, giving us a little prep to which hat he was going to pick up. We was all enthralled. And his family and his friends or whatever are standing around him. They got on Alabama gear and Tennessee gear, or vice versa. Mom's had on an Alabama sweatshirt and a Tennessee hat. So
she did? She had a
yeah.
Tennessee
So
hat?
she was cool with either one.
I didn't see that.
Jacob picked just had the last meeting. And they said on February 2nd, on Friday, he had just been back to Florida. Like he had a revisit with them. They won him over because what had happened was he had originally gone with Florida anyway, but then the coach got pulled. The coach moved and was going to a different team. So then it was like he got to take his answer back. He was like, "Whoa, you know, I had decided on that coach, whatever."
Right.
They somehow wooed him back in. He picked up the Florida hat, and his mom gets up in the middle of the damn press conference and walks in front of him, in front of everyone.
While he was still fitting the hat on, he didn't even get it all good yet.
Like so rude, so disrespectful. Like you should be proud that he got in anywhere. Number one, and was a high pick.
She had to pay that money back.
I heard there's more to the story.
Yeah.
I heard her side of the story.
Say it, because I don't know the second part.
So let me tell you all the tea.
Please tell me the tea.
So what I found out through my internet, whatever. So the mom didn't want him to go to Florida for the simple fact that he's affiliated with gang.
I did hear some of that.
So he was going to hang with his friend. Like she
wanted him to get out of his neighborhood.
So that's what the tea.
I did hear that.
So
actually, I did hear that.
Because she didn't want him to get involved.
Well,
but I feel like
that makes a lot of
sense. And
sense.
that's true. And whatever it is, I don't think it needed to be done on camera because all it did was draw attention to that rather than this young man's success. And I think that was unfortunate.
Of course. But she did come back and give him a hug.
Did she?
It was too late.
I know, but that was also on camera.
But I guess that's also what makes it real. Like, damn, I'm pissed, but
she probably thought about it. She took a deep breath, came back, gave the man a hug.
I think that's worth talking about then.
Right. You still my son, you little fuck up, you.
But yeah, that's what happened. That's the tea.
Right. That makes sense. What's up? Mm-hmm.
So that's fail number one. Okay. Oh, you want to win then?
Hit me.
Yeah,
I'll give you a win.
That works.
Yeah, that works.
All
right. So, all right, this is a big one. I love this. There's a marijuana-based anti-seizure drug that could hit the U.S. market in the later part of this year. I guess they did a study on ages 2 to 55. There was like 171 different people. They did, they always do like use the drug and then they have a placebo group. And there was a lot of people in this group that experienced what are called drop seizures, which basically means like they legit have a seizure and fall. Like I'm just talking to you and I fall out my chair, hit my head, bust my head open, all this kind of whatever. Like dramatic, like no time to prepare. Like it just happens rapidly. So they did like a 14-week treatment or whatever. And 44% of the patients, the drug's called Epidiolex, saw a significant reduction in seizures and like a 50% drop in the drop seizures. So whatever. So they're thinking like it's definitely like, worth cultivating. And obviously that means those people can get off of those medications and they can just use basically this medication, which is derived from marijuana. And it's similar to, if y'all remember back in the day, they was talking about this Charlotte's Web. It's like a certain kind of weed, a strain. Excuse me, marijuana, I should say that. A strain of marijuana. And these two brothers, they're like cannabis growers and they were making it and they basically use the same process as them. But the way they're doing it with their Epidiolex is, of course, the government trying to get a piece of it and the pharmaceutical companies try to make it something that goes through FDA and, it's probably going to be $1 bajillion or whatever. And it is what it is. It's nice that they're looking at facts, but I think the only reason they're looking at facts of using it is because they're trying to get paid. Like I don't think
it's always gotten about money. It's always about the money.
Disappointing.
Of course.
And I think
that's why it needs to be run through all that FDA, all that bullshit, because they just want the money. They want that cash out. Period.
No, it is.
I don't want to hear it.
Is it fucked up when Shaw said, hey, they just clinched up and fall over? I thought that was funny as shit.
Was
they really doing it though? Like, was that real? Were they really having seizures?
Funny until it happens.
Were they really having seizures though? Like,
these are people who have epilepsy. Epilepsy is that you have uncontrollable seizures at any time. Like you just chilling or having a conversation with people and just start seizing up.
Fall over seizures though.
They're called drop seizures. I swear to God, that's a real thing. That's an article.
And shake and all of that stuff. That's terrible.
Gosh, you guys don't know about these?
Okay, anyway. Yeah, it says literally drop seizures involve the entire body, the trunk or head, and often result in a fall or another type of injury.
Right.
So people are getting fucked up.
You get
like,
hurt.
Right.
So this is, they take the medicine, they have less seizures. And this has been something that has been documented for years. It's just that now they're able to push it to make some cash. So now they are like, oh yeah, we care about people. Yeah.
We say we care about.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's real fucked up.
That is fucked up.
Oh, okay.
Another fail.
All right, fail number 2. So I guess back in January 14th, this chick dropped a baby off at an airport in Tucson, Arizona. Basically she attached a note that said, I didn't know I was pregnant. And my mom doesn't, she's writing it from the baby's perspective. My mom didn't know I was pregnant, didn't know she was pregnant. I find that interesting. My mom didn't know I was pregnant. She was pregnant, and she can't help me and she can't take care of me. She wants somebody to please take me and give me a good home. You know, I'm sorry, or something like that, right? Well, you know, so they were like, well, here's the thing. Well, I guess the girl was thinking because Arizona is a safe haven state. So what that means is that like you can take a baby anywhere to a fire station or a hospital, but it has to be or church, something like that. Right. Well, airport is not one of those places. So now they can bring her up on criminal charges, and they think they have used cameras to figure out which chick brought the baby in. So now they're trying to figure out like through photos and putting her information out everywhere. If I guess somebody would be like, oh, that's Sharon. I thought she was getting big. You know what I mean? I don't know what the plan is after that, but yeah, like so they got this chick's picture where whether they may or may not like they were like she's carrying a blanket, but you know, lots of chicks carry blankets in the airport. So who's to say that the blanket had a baby in it at one point? What?
Her name is Brenda.
Brenda.
Ignore him, please.
I hate hearing about stuff like that. It makes me cringe that somebody can really, especially a mom, because of the bond that you're supposed to have with your unborn child in your belly for 9 months, and they say it's all spiritual and all of that stuff, but yet you can have this baby in a hospital in front of all these doctor strangers and then put her in front of a fucking airport.
Advocate, maybe
that's terrible. How can you walk away and still call yourself a goddamn human being when you drop a baby? I can't
I hear you. That always pisses me off. But you don't know what her home life is like. Maybe her dad is the one. But listen, no, it's not. But what if her dad is the one who fucked her?
Right.
And she's got an incest baby.
Yeah, that's fucked up too.
And she didn't even know. Now, I don't get how people don't know. Some people are really active. Some people's babies aren't active in the womb. I don't get that. I definitely had a baby who kicked at some point, you know, and then when I rolled on my stomach, I definitely felt like, oh, I kind of feel like something's in there. So I think that's odd, but they used to have a show on MTV that was I didn't know I was pregnant.
That's on TLC.
Or whatever the fuck. Yeah. Some silly ass show, right? You know what I mean? Like,
and they would
to me,
go to the
silly,
bathroom and have the baby.
But as a response to like, you know, her maternal bond, like everybody doesn't have that. Just because it's in her belly does not mean that she felt anything about it. And if what she's saying is true, I didn't know I was pregnant. She didn't have no bond. She didn't have no time. She was just at the airport like, oh shit.
She had the baby somewhere.
Yeah, at the airport. They're saying she had it in the airport bathroom, cleaned the baby up, and then wrapped the baby up and left it on the changing table. Like the baby was clean. The baby looked like she gave a shit at that moment. Like, I don't want to leave it in the trash can.
So she had it.
So at that point, you cared.
So she had the baby.
I ain't caring enough to kill it.
So
kill it.
She had the baby in the bathroom.
That's what they're thinking.
Wiped the baby off, wrapped her up, swallowed all that good stuff,
and then left it.
And then
left a note that said, "I hope someone good takes care of my baby."
How old is this bitch?
We don't know. We don't even know who she is.
Younger.
That's the thing.
Hey man, I'm gonna just say this.
I can't.
I don't think she's like 14. That's what you think the story is.
This stuff kills me.
I watch enough Lifetime.
I've seen all of them born. You feel me? And that's some bloody shit. So if she did that in the bathroom and didn't nobody see this shit,
I think that part's crazy.
But she left the baby with a note.
I guess it also
and walked out of there with her head.
What time in the airport? If it's 2 a.m, ain't a lot of flights going out. Maybe that bathroom's off on the cut, and it ain't like a popular
employee bathroom.
Whatever. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Like, what you cleaning that up with? Paper towels? Fuck no.
I mean,
fuck no.
I don't know.
Clean the bastard birth with fucking paper
but you gotta understand, this is all speculation because all they basically found was a baby, and then they created a story around the baby.
Right.
And then they started scanning the cameras looking for who they
They're not
saw.
gonna find her. She probably jumped right onto a plane.
Oh, this woman looks white. Like this is a white woman. Like, or she looks very fair. I say in
fair
picture.
skin.
She got to be young.
She could be something else.
Be a teenage, some type of teenager.
She didn't look it, but she could be.
I mean, shit. She was in the airport, so she got money.
But again, this is a picture of somebody they think is it. Like
Right.
this is not even.
And she gonna be the same one 20 years later trying to look for her baby after
But
she's
you never
all
know
grown.
what she was dealing with before she had.
That's all I'm saying is you don't know what happened.
don't
What
know
was
the
her mindset? And
circumstances
she
that
legit
she got
thought,
pregnant.
shit, if I'm with my incest father
incest,
and I take
we
this
rape.
baby home, he already beats me and beats my mom and all this whatever. Do I want to take the baby back for that? No, of course you don't. Or I mean, maybe she has a great life and she drives a BMW. I don't fucking know. I'm just
We don't
saying.
know.
She getting a book deal.
No, you
Okay,
don't
I
know.
hate you.
I get it, Tim. I get it. Tim.
Okay.
Yeah, move on. Because that stuff really
I get
that
it.
irks me.
I
That,
watched enough Lifetime.
Everyone
I
is
get
clearly
it.
bothered.
yes.
Well, this is a happy win.
This is a
It's,
win.
Nasser. Oh wait, you said you want me to say that one for last. All right. Well, I got a good one. This is a happy one. Beyonce was a surprise guest, a surprise presenter, I should say, at it's called the Sports Illustrated Awards or whatever.
Mhm.
And she presented Colin Kaepernick with the Sports Illustrated Muhammad Ali Legacy Award. This was just Tuesday. And she said she was proud and humbled to present him the award. It's given to former athletes and sports figures who embody the ideals of sportsmanship, leadership, and philanthropy as vehicles for changing the world. And her quote was, "Colin took action with no fear of consequence or repercussion, only hope to change the world for the better, to change perception, to change the way we treat each other, especially people of color." And I guess last year's award was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he said he thought that Kaepernick was a worthy recipient, and he fully embraced the risk to his career in order to remind Americans of the systemic racism that was denying African Americans their opportunities to equal education, jobs, health, and even their lives.
Mhm.
And Colin, again came out and said, this was never about get the NFL and all this whatever. And he parted ways with the 49ers and hasn't had a job since then. But he said, if that's what it has to be, that's what it has to be. I can be something else basically without the NFL.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it was dope. I think it's sad because the question is it that he's not good enough to be on the team? And I've debated this with other people.
he's definitely
I have debated this with other people that was like, nah, Colin didn't get picked up because he wasn't that good, and he was like, And I think, it's absolutely fueled by the fact that he was stirring up trouble.
They thought he was a problem.
I think it's unfortunate. And I wonder what is going to be if he's going to make enough money, speaking and all that type of stuff to recoup his situation. I don't know.
He won't make football money.
But he'll
that's for
definitely be
sure.
able to survive.
But he'll make enough to live
He
off.
can survive.
Yeah, I mean, he might have to stop, donating as much as he has been if he's gonna just not do football.
But you never know.
You never. But those speaking engagements,
they do pay money.
Yeah, they do. But
They
I mean.
pay.
But they just
and football is never really guaranteed in real life.
Right.
You get one injury, your contract is trash.
That is true.
That's not
You
really
said.
for quarterbacks though, and he was an NFL starting quarterback.
He definitely had the talent to do it.
Right.
I think he could. And they had there were talks that
Didn't he go to the Super Bowl?
no, I'm saying what was the last team I heard that was actually considering bringing him on? I can't remember, but there were some recent talks about him being picked back up. I definitely don't think it's his talent. Now I understand some people, like you said, Tiffany, might not agree that might say that his talent wasn't all that great. Plus, he was a problem. He had a rough year or two before all this stuff started. So maybe that's where all that's coming from.
Yeah.
All right, man, you had 2 fucked up seasons. You know what I mean? But I mean, he went to the playoffs. He went to the playoffs. He took the San Francisco to the playoffs and the championship, I want to say.
Yeah,
didn't he?
He did.
So I'm proud of him though. I'm you know, that's cool that he's speaking. That's a good thing. I'm cool with that. What's the next?
All right, and you want another win?
Hit it.
What's that last one we were talking about?
Oh, Nasser.
Yeah.
Or I mean, you want to fail?
Do you have something before that one or no?
The Nasser thing? No, that's the third one.
Okay.
That's the third one.
Mm-hmm.
The third fail is this guy called, his name is Bradley Garner. This is more about the Me Too movement. I mean, not that they had actually specifically spoke about it in the article, but basically he's a world-renowned flutist and instructor for flute instructor. So he literally travels around the world and like teaches at like Juilliard and like, you know, Harvard, all these different places like where he teaches music, makes all this money. I guess he's been brought up on charges at the University of Cincinnati. They actually fired him last year because there was 9 separate allegations of him kissing girls, like kissing them, and they and there was a video that was circulating of him having sex with 2 students at the same time, and not only that, he had a type. I guess the type that he pursued was Asian, younger than 18. What? So these were like the different, like he worked with all different ages, and currently he was working at this music camp in North Carolina. And the kids are like ages 12 and up. And the chicks was like, there wasn't any like allegations at this camp, but people were finding out about what happened at the University of Cincinnati, and a lot of his other schools were pulling out like, whoa, we can't be attached to with that. What's going on? But the chick that was ahead of this camp was like an advocate, like hands down, he's a great guy. Everybody loves him. We don't know what's happening. We don't know about that horrible article that they wrote in Cincinnati about him. Like that's well, it's definitely questionable. And she was going hard in the paint because there was another instructor who said she had seen some questionable things, and it didn't say she had been fired, but they wasn't on good terms. Her and the chick that was above her, the owner of the camp, wasn't on good terms, and she had